round matchup in the Western Conference. The Houston Rockets against the Los Angeles Lakers. Full crowd on hand as Hakeem Olajuwon led his Rockets in, looking to win a second straight before going back to Houston. And it does bring the stars out. These Laker games, Arsenio Hall, just one of many on hand this afternoon. Hi, everyone. I'm Greg Gumbel, along with Bill Walton. These Rockets are in search of a third consecutive NBA championship. They come up with one big win after another, as they did here in the Forum on Thursday night. Rudy Tomjanovich, however, is a coach that does not allow his team to get complacent.
I think they get tired of me saying to be a champion, you have to overcome human nature. And human nature is to feel good after you do well. We've got to fight that, because everybody's going to say the right thing. But you got to go out and you got to apply it on the floor. You got to really get it done.
Complacency may not be the problem today, though, for Rudy Tomjanovich. He's got the two great players in Hakeem and Clyde Drexler, who combined for 54 points out of the total 87 for the Houston Rockets. While Hakeem is great as always, Clyde Drexler is bothered by a turned ankle from Game 1 in the second quarter. Now, Clyde Drexler, 13 years in the NBA, never gets taped, always wears low tops. Today, he's gone to the high top shoes, and he has those ankles very tightly taped. This will be a big problem for the Houston Rockets if Clyde Drexler can't come up with that magic performance that he's going to need to.
Meanwhile, everybody's wondering, what can the Los Angeles Lakers do differently here in Game 2? They didn't do that many things wrong, losing 87-83 the other night, except shoot well.
Greg, the strategy, the game plan for the Lakers is very good. What they didn't have that dominant individual performance by one player. That guy has got to be Magic Johnson. Now, I've known Magic for 17 years. The last 24 hours, I have never seen him this down in playoff time in basketball. He's got to come up with one of those dominating personality performances that he's so famous for the Lakers to get back into this series.
We've said it all. All that's left is to tip it off. We'll have starting lineups and the opening tip when we come back to the Great Western Forum. Game 2 on tap as the Los Angeles Lakers try to pull even in this best-of-5 series. Starting lineups are the same as in Game 1. Robert Horry went scoreless in the opener for the Houston Rockets. Nick Van Exel just 1 for 11 from the floor. The head coach is Rudy Tomjanovich for the Rockets, Del Harris for the Lakers, and we're underway, and that is to Los Angeles.
Key for the Lakers, up-tempo game. Get in the transition, which is their strength. Get in the 110-point range. That'll be a huge factor for them.
Divac right away inside. Vlade Divac with 6 points and 8 rebounds, but went scoreless in the fourth quarter of the 4-point loss here Thursday night.
Greg Vlade was telling me in the locker room before the game that there's nothing he can do to stop Hakeem on the defensive end. What he's got to do is try to get some of it back on the offensive zone.
Olajuwon spins to the baseline for his first basket of the day.
We've already seen much better quality of play in Game 2 than Game 1. A shooting nightmare for both clubs.
Eldon Campbell across the lane as Hook doesn't fall, and Drexler with the rebound. He's joining us late. Clyde Drexler rolled his ankle early in the second quarter, was ineffective for much of the middle part of the game, and had his ankle taped prior to this game, something he's never done before in his offensive career. Robert Horry throws it away.
Tough pass. Don't jump in the air to pass, but back to Clyde Drexler. With Clyde in the locker, I saw him pulling the paper out of the toe of his shoes, those high-top shoes that he's wearing. That's never good for an athlete to wear for the first time in such an important game as today's.
Wore your new shoes in practice, did you?
Got to break them in. You want everything perfect and throw that ball up for the first time.
The Ballos in the cast off.
The best three-point shooting team in Laker history. Peeler, Nick Van Exel, Sabalas, they can all throw it down. Oh, too easy.
Didn't roll for him, and here come the Lakers, led by Van Exel. Magic Johnson told us Nick Van Exel will penetrate for the first time he's ever seen him. Look at that basket. Nice setup for Sabalos. 7-2 Lakers.
Greg, a good start is critical for the Rockets. They've got to come out get some player. It was Clyde Drexler who set the tempo early in game one. Right now, it's all Los Angeles Lakers.
Van Exel on the run. Hard pass aimed toward Divac, off his hands and out of bounds.
Van Exel able to slide down the lane a moment ago and finding Cedric Ceballos, one of the great finishers without the ball, with that quick stop.
Robert Horry into the lane. And Van Exel comes away with it. Rockets come out cold. Van Exel back in a hurry. Rudy Tomjanovich says, we have to talk about this. The Lakers have come out with something they didn't have Friday night. A little offense. 9-2. Lakers in the lead.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by New Miller Beer, brewed from the heart of the hops for a beer with heart that goes down easy. By Jeep, makers of the new award-winning Jeep Grand Cherokee. And by Nike, who encourages you to participate in the lives of America's youth.
Welcome back. The Lakers off the mark in a hurry today. The Rockets are not working the sidelines with us. Hannah Storm. Hannah.
Well, Rudy Tomjanovich told his team during the timeout, you're falling into the Lakers' trap, you guys. You've got to get back on defense. He said your mind is not in this game yet, Greg.
Thanks, Hannah. Ball away by a team who has all four of the Rockets' points. It's 9-4.
The Lakers defense is so much more aggressive, so much more confident. They're staying home. This is a terrific Laker team defensively. They're best in history, holding their opponents to under 100 points per game. Only the second time in Laker history.
Eddie Jones.
Eddie Jones, Clyde Drexler matchup will be critical in the outcome of not only this game, but this series. Jones with 5 3-pointers in game one.
Kenny Smith open. And loose ball foul is going to go against Clyde Drexler. That's his first.
The whole flow has been L.A. Houston having to get everything instead offense. The Lakers are getting good shots, good balance. They appear much hungrier, much fresher. Van Exel creating beautifully.
Kenny Smith draws his first personal. Both these teams in the first quarter here in game one shot 33%. The Lakers finished at 35% for the game. And Del Harris says we just picked a bad time to play our worst game of the year.
The numbers were absolutely horrible. The Lakers are a terrific field goal shooting team. They are in the top 10 in the NBA in not only field goal percentage, but in points as well. And it all starts with your creative guys, your Magic Johnsons and your Nick Van Exel. And Van Exel, who hadn't played in a couple of weeks in an NBA game, he was obviously very tentative.
Kenny Smith for three. Front of the rim. Divac with the rebound.
Neither three-point attempt by Smith has even gotten above the 10-foot height of the rim.
Van Exel again.
This is exactly what the Rockets do not want. Front-running Lakers up on their toes, pushing out. Nothing happening on the offensive end.
Drexler missed. Hakeem fouls him from behind.
Nick Van Exel, who has been terrific, got more done in the first couple of minutes of this game than in the entirety of game one.
Into the lane, and Van Exel is on fire. Absolutely on fire.
Rudy Tomjanovich is quickly coming to San Francisco. Kenny Smith obviously unable to contain Van Exel.
Van Exel helping with the double team. And Kenny Smith on the drive. Dishes for Chucky Brown. Blocked.
Lakers are fourth in the NBA in blocks in the regular season. Tall guys underneath and little guys that force double clutch attempts.
Van Exel everything. And that brings a smile to Van Exel's face.
Good rejection by both Paul guys. Talking to a team who's played against all the best, has established himself as the best. Mario Elliott just checking in for the first time. But the team was commenting on just how tall these Laker big men are, Vlade and Eldon Campbell.
Lakers on a 12-2 run. Chucky Brown down the lane. Will go to the line, but that didn't fall for him. In addition to the poor shooting by the Lakers here in Game 1 on Thursday night, they also turned the ball over 22 times, which is a very un-Laker-like performance.
They're second in the league in fewest turnovers per game. This is a team that loves to get up and down, but the Rockets are so sharp defensively, and that's what gives the Rockets that confidence to be able to come into these games. They fall back as Magic looking up the sideline to the coach saying, "Hey, coach, can I get in there now?" Magic has moved up the sideline now, sitting closer and closer to where Del Harris is.
Six and a half to play here in the first quarter. Cedric Ceballos out of bounds to Houston. The way things were going for the Lakers, Ced might think a second time about taking that open three-pointer.
The problem with driving against the Houston Rockets is that you got the league's all-time shot block king in Hakeem Olajuwon. Nobody for Houston is playing offense at all.
Sam Cassell comes up short on that jump shot. 19-6 Lakers. 19-4. 14-6. The numbers will come eventually, Bill.
Team in transition.
Squeezes through. And a traveling violation on Mario Elliott.
In the start of Game 1 for Houston, Clyde Drexler dominated the game physically. He had double-digit points in the first quarter, set the tempo. Nobody has taken that sort of physical or mental control of the game for Houston at this point, while Van Exel is in complete charge.
Ceballos outfights 3 Rockets for the rebound. Taps out to Van Exel for a 3. Too strong. Divac just missed the tap. And here come the Rockets, 4-on-2. Cassell to Ellie to Drexler. And he missed the layup. And a jump ball.
Clyde is thinking about that foot, but this is where Rudy Tomjanovich's brilliance comes to play. He knows the Rockets are stinking the place up early on. He'll be positive. He'll stay patient with them. He won't yell and scream and start pulling guys. He knows it's a 48-minute game. He also knows he's only ahead after the first quarter with that Game 1 victory here Thursday night.
Houston is just 2 for 11 so far this afternoon. Nice pass by Divac to Ceballos, who was fouled down the lane.
Houston, I'm not sure why. I mean, Hakeem Olajuwon, one of the great defensive centers in the history of basketball, he can guard Vlade Divac. You don't need to come and double-team Vlade when Hakeem is already on it. That's just going to allow Cedric Ceballos to play his game.
You've seen it, Bill. It's perplexing to coaches and sometimes to fans how a team can come out and not perform, especially when you think they're ready to. Laker assistant Bill Burtka was saying, I couldn't believe it. I looked at our guys in the locker room before Game 1, and they were all ready. They were focused. They were intense, and they came out, and nothing happened.
You have to learn how to play the big games. These are not guys on this Laker team that have dominated the history of basketball on the high school, collegiate, or professional level the way the great Laker teams, the great Celtic teams, the great Philadelphia and New York teams have done in the past. This Laker team has to get its own identity, and he had to prove it on the court in the playoffs.
Lakers by 10. Olajuwon sets up Chucky Brown. In and out. Hakeem follows and was fouled by Eldon Campbell.
Mario Ellie trying trying to get everybody together here, pulling the Rockets at the foul line. The foul on Eldon Campbell, who picked up some very cheap and questionable calls early on in the game. That was clearly a foul.
Team misses the first, and here comes Anthony Peeler, who sat out Game 1 with a strained calf muscle.
Interesting how Peeler is off the bench first before Magic.
Team missed them both.
Maybe Del Harris has got him in there early to get that calf loose, keep it loose after the nice warm-up that he had.
Eddie Jones pursues.
Del Harris is grinning ear to ear. The offense just firing on all cylinders for L.A. and nothing going right for Houston.
Olajuwon outside. Ellie off the mark. It's a strange game, isn't it?
A complete reversal of fortune. The Rockets have got to start going to the hoop. They're shooting the fadeaways. They're not rebounding. They're missing what close-in shots they do have. They're just getting out hustled for all loose balls.
Divac, Peeler, Van Exel. Oh, look at that. The Lakers are on a roll. Breaks an 18-4 Laker run.
We talked with the Rockets yesterday. This supremely confident team that comes with 2 back-to-back championships. They know no matter what the circumstances, they can come back because they've got the defense and the individual offensive players.
Team comes over to get that block, and here come the Rockets again. 4-on-3, Cassell. Got it blocked by Campbell.
Campbell's the only non-center in the NBA who's in the top 10 in blocks. The Lakers want a timeout right now. They don't need one. They just want to milk this crowd a little bit.
2:56 to play in the first quarter, and it's been all Lakers. You're watching the NBA on NBC. .256 to play in the first quarter, and Magic Johnson is set to come into the game for the first time. Include Magic among the Lakers, who really weren't that concerned after a Game 1 loss.
What we have to do is move the basketball and make people move. See, we didn't make people move. We didn't make their team move the other night. We just had the ball and we were pounding it. We didn't swing, move. And what we didn't do that we were so good at, we didn't get anything in transition. And I think more than anything, that's what hurt us the most.
And that's exactly what the Lakers have accomplished so far this afternoon.
They're playing Laker basketball. The Lakers don't have the personnel, Greg. As you look at the field goal percentage from Game 1, just a precipitous drop-off from their 6th in the NBA regular season mark of 48%. The Lakers don't have those great one-on-one players. You just give them the ball and get out of there. This is a team that's second in the NBA in assists. They rely on penetration and dish and creativity of Magic and Van Exel. And then Vlade doing a lot of good passing himself.
Anthony Peeler. And follows up.
And all the long rebounds. I mean, where are Sam Cassell, where is Mario Ellie and Drexler cutting that foul line with a long rebound?
That one was a giveaway by Peeler, and here comes Drexler leading a 3-on-1. Ellie didn't fall for it, and Jones comes back in to grab the rebound. 2-on-1. Magic kept out of bounds by Akeem.
This is something that you live for. Very few times in the history of the NBA have such great players face each other in the playoffs. Magic and Akeem here. We had Russell and Chamberlain. Jabbar never played against Jordan in the playoffs. Jordan versus Magic just one time in the playoffs. This is very special.
The Lakers have out-rebounded Houston 16-6.
No double team. It's a pop back in by the guard. He hurt his ankle. He trained it.
And Magic is limping back up the court and called timeout.
He's going straight to the locker room there. They're going to have to carry him off. Get some big guys off the bench. Get Derek Strong and a couple of guys.
This will be a 20-second timeout, but Magic in some obvious pain. Let's go back and take a look.
He swings the hook. Looks like he just landed on his ankle when he jumped. It's way too early to tell.
I thought maybe he may have landed on his opponent's foot when he came down.
I think that's what happened. Great to see Magic walking it off a little bit. Oftentimes that's very painful initially. Magic, not a guy who's had a lot of sprained ankles in his career, has had recurring Achilles tendon problems, but he's staying in there. He's waited a long time to get back to these playoffs.
Talked about his hamstring injury. This against the Pistons in the '90 finals. Magic is going to stay in with a minute 55 to play here in the first.
The 13th playoffs that Magic has been in. He's been to the finals 9 times. Man, how many layups did the Rockets miss today?
A bunch. Let's go over to Hannah Storm. Hannah.
Talked to Lakers trainer Gary Vitti. He said that Magic rolled his left ankle. As you can see, Magic insisted on staying in the game and says he's going to be okay. Did not aggravate that Achilles injury in any way. Again, he just twisted his left ankle.
All right, Hannah, thank you. Second personal foul on Eldon Campbell.
Rockets have scored 9 points. We've got just under 2 minutes to play. The offensive futility that the Lakers suffered in Game 1.
So Divac comes on now to replace Eldon Campbell as Mark Bryant will get a second free throw. Bryant had 12 points and 5 rebounds and was the only other Rocket other than Hakeem and Clyde Drexler to reach double figures here Thursday night.
Bryant has been hugely successful all season long against the Lakers. Key offseason acquisition by the Rockets, Mark Bryant.
Magic Johnson. Shot clock at 9. No double team. The hook will fall, but he'll go to the free throw line. And Bryant guilty as foul. Magic Johnson, the next free throw he makes will place him number 2 all time in free throws made in the playoffs.
The top 3 positions all time are all Lakers, former Lakers. Jerry West, number 1. Abdul-Jabbar, number 2. Look at Magic's playoff rankings. 3rd in games, 6th in points.
And now number 2 in free throws. Made them both. Lakers lead 24-11 in the last minute and a half of the first quarter. Drexler.
Lakers wanted to push, a traveling violation, but he was pushed.
And Drexler with the pass back doesn't make the layup. Here come the Lakers again. A forgettable first quarter for the Houston Rockets. And Laker ball on the kick.
The Lakers just look so much fresher, so much more relaxed, so much more confident. The question for the Rockets is, are they just phoning this one in, thinking that, hey, we got what we wanted with the first game victory? I don't think so. I think the Rockets are going to come back and make a game of this at some point.
Divac, the other side, threw it away. 2 Lakers open on the far side of the court, and he split the difference.
Go 2 for 1 here with the Rockets at the shot clock. Shoot at 40, and then you get the last one. Rockets patiently walking it up.
Cassell backs his way in, then goes outside and down low. Wants to post up Van Exel. The turnaround on the baseline, in and out.
Nobody for the Rockets playing well at all.
Van Exel going to slow it down.
Got to isolate Magic right here on Mark Bryant. This far away from the hoop, Bryant can't play defense. Now just drive to the hoop.
Van Exel, shot clock is at 3. Has to force it. It's short. Hakeem. 5 seconds for the quarter. Drexler Drexler at the buzzer. And what an opening period of play for Nick Van Exel and the Los Angeles Lakers. Van Exel with just 5 points on 1 of 11 shooting in Game 1 has come out firing. 7 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and the Lakers are in charge as we go to the second quarter at the Great Western Forum.
The NBA on NBC. The 1996 NBA playoffs.
Magic Johnson with 4 points, 2 for 2 from the free throw line, 1 for 1 from the floor, including this hook shot. But at the tail end, his foot lands on Mark Bryan. He rolled his ankle, but Magic seems to have recovered well enough to continue to play. Meanwhile, the Houston Rockets maybe are a completely different story with Clyde Drexler. Here's Hannah Storm.
Well, Greg, as you're recalling Game 1, Clyde rolled his right ankle, a similar injury to what we just saw with Magic. Clyde is not doing well. Before the game, he told me that he was sore, swollen, and hurts like heck, and I just overheard him when the Rockets were getting back on defense there towards the end of the quarter. He was telling Akeem Olajuwon that he cannot push off on that ankle, Greg.
Thanks, Hannah. Not good news at all for the Houston Rockets.
When you play with an ankle injury, it really affects every part of your game because you can't think about preparation. There's a little bit of preparation there by Robert Horry, who scores for the first time in what seems like forever. Robert scoreless in the first game. Took a lot of heat from his teammates for that, in the buses, in the locker room. But if you can't prepare for the game, you're dealing with your ankle all the time.
There's a block for Akeem. That's his second this afternoon. Horry. Olajuwon on the baseline, out of bounds. No, Divac pushed him. Maybe the only way to contend with Akeem Olajuwon.
Along the baseline, a spin. You look at the spin move that Akeem has, that Shaq has. Look at David Robinson does not really have that much of. We're going to see him tomorrow. He'll probably bring one out for us.
Olajuwon with the short pop. He has 6 points. 24-15.
Making good moves, but Akeem is so spectacular on defense.
Oh, and Sam Cassell with a nice move to the basket. And Del Harris wants timeout. A couple of baskets has given the Laker management pause for thought here. 6-point run by the Rockets. We're coming back to the Great Western Forum for more in just a moment.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Toyota and their full line of quality cars and trucks. Toyota, I love what you do for me. By new Actron, the pain reliever that's so small because it's so powerful. And by the U.S. Army. Be a part of the toughest, smartest Army in the world. Be all you can be.
We welcome you back as Akeem Olajuwon and Magic Johnson lead their respective teams back onto the court. Keep in mind, last year the Lakers lost Game 1 to Seattle and then won the next 3 to advance.
They did not have the home court advantage in that series. They closed it out here at home against Seattle. Right now, though, the Rockets defense has gotten them back in this game.
And Divac in there crashing the offensive boards. And Olajuwon can't believe the foul is on him. It's number 2 on Akeem.
Akeem protesting that he just stood there, and it looked like he did, as Vlade just exploded up through him. Akeem, with 2 fouls now, is one of the few centers that can play while he's in foul trouble.
Divac will go to the line to shoot 2.
Vlade had his career playoff high of 6 assists in Game 1. The second best passing center in basketball statistically. Vlade Divac behind Akeem Olajuwon. I think as Akeem continues to protest and saying that he was just standing there, I think one thing that Vlade and the Lakers can do is use him as a passer use him to create as well, because he's got the mobility, he's got the skills of a mobile and agile player to compete against the King.
26-17, Lakers in the lead.
Oh, I feel like
Anthony Peeler just scooted a little too far across the lane, and Magic tried to send him back. No.
Greg, the Lakers are just absolutely annihilating the Rockets on the board, doubling them up. In fact, the Lakers guards have more rebounds than the entire Houston team.
Not a good sign. Anthony Peeler feeds Dale 3. And Peeler back outside for 3.
Lakers have lost a lot since Van Exel went to the bench. They just don't seem to be flickering the ball. Magic's not trying to drive and penetrate.
Peeler for 3. Back to the rim and then back out, and Olajuwon has it. Cassell. And bumped by Dale 3 for the foul.
Greg, it's good to see Peeler out there. He appears to be moving well. He's missed his shots, but that will come. The rhythm will come back. In game 1, that swing pass is, as Cassell is going to get bumped by 3 and just hammered to the floor. But in game 1, the Lakers on their swing passes, the ball was always ending up in Fred Roberts or George Lynch's hands. Those guys are not three-point spot-up shooters.
Morey for Akeem. This is a move from the baseline.
That's why they said there's nothing you can do about that. Just hope you can contain him a little bit, keep him under 40. And that's the Lakers' strategy. Just count on Akeem not getting 50 or 60 the way Wilt used to, or Jordan does, and hope the rest of the guys don't have big games themselves.
Sabalos for 3. So three-pointers could have gone down, but didn't, because last 2 shots by the Lakers, and back comes Cassell in a hurry.
Del Harris should come back with Nick Van Exel. That's where the spark was early on in this game.
The double team on Akeem. Morey. Outside Mario Ellis. And out of bounds to Houston.
The fans are not going to like this. Maybe the ball did go off Morey, but he was fouled. He was pushed, and rather than just calling the foul, good veteran referee just, hey, let the players decide, give the Rockets the ball out of bounds.
Neither team really lighting it up from behind the three-point line. The officials this afternoon are Hugh Evans, Terry Durham, and Bernie Pryor. Cassell for the short shot.
Right, the Rockets are so special. One of the reasons because they have 3 guys that can flat out beat you one-on-one in a half-court set. Sam Cassell, Clyde Drexler, and of course, Akeem Olajuwon.
And Houston has closed to within 5 at 26-21. 8:20 to play in the first half. Out of the corner, Sabalos, short. Cassell with the rebound and on the run again. Right at Magic, stops. And doesn't get the roll. Sabalos on the run. Cedric Sabalos. 9 for Sabalos. 28-21 Lakers.
Team having to be very careful. Has the 2 fouls. Couldn't normally attack the way he likes to on defense on that penetration. Nice interchange. Ori, the give right back. Beautiful basketball.
Olajuwon has 10. 28-23. Lakers by 5. Jones is going to go down low now to Magic. Oh, look at that. And Ori comes back for the block and the takeaway. And out of bounds. And a technical.
An incredibly creative pass by Magic Johnson and a recovery by Ori taking the ball, and then he bounces the ball out of bounds. It's a clear violation, and that's showing up of the referee, which is not be tolerated by Bernie Pryor, a classy veteran, or any other referee.
Magic converts the free throw.
Robert Ori, who I feel is the best shot-blocking big forward in the NBA.
Robert Ory's game has been missing from the Rockets' attack so far in this series.
But the Rockets coaching staff, they're the first to point out that they don't really care about his game. A lot of that is coach speak, just trying to never say anything bad about their players. Or he's got to be a scorer.
Magic to the left hook, and that'll be a goaltender. Credit the basket to Magic. He has 5-7 on the day now.
Hakeem's going to lose track of where he is, and once he comes down with his ball, he's going to look back and say, where's that basket? I didn't think I was that close.
7 minutes to play in the first half.
Rockets are playing a lot better at this point.
Hakeem across the lane for 2 more. He has 12.
Finally, Van Exel back in the lineup.
And Nick had it batted away from behind and out of bounds. And we had a timeout on the floor. 6:48 remaining in the first half. The Rockets have come back much the way Bill Walton expected they would. You're watching the NBA on NBC. This was the scene nearly 4 years ago when the Olympic torch arrived at the opening ceremony in Barcelona and was brought through the stadium by all the athletes, including the Dream Team and Magic Johnson, who watched with obvious glee. The memorable moment when the Olympic torch was lit by an arrow soaring through the night. And today, at halftime, you'll want to stay with us as the Olympic torch arrives on American soil here in Los Angeles to start its tour around the United States en route to the Centennial Olympic Games in Atlanta. I'll be there. Will you be there?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Wouldn't miss it.
So will Hakeem Olajuwon, and so will Magic Johnson. Speaking of Hakeem, who's brought his team back with 8 second-quarter points on perfect 4-for-4 shooting. Hakeem, the third leading playoff scorer of all time by average, behind Michael Jordan and Jerry West.
Eddie Jones changes direction, and here comes Ori for the block.
With more of that team defense, Lakers realizing quickly that the all-time shot block leader in the NBA is on the bench, get to the hoop, but Ori, a vastly underrated shot blocker.
That'll still be Laker basketball. Houston shot just 16% from the floor in the first quarter, has upped that to 78% here in the second.
And the Lakers have dropped off in their ice cold.
Van Exel.
That's a tough way to get back in.
Eddie Jones with the foul.
Rockets just mistimed that ball. Now, one of the few times you'll see a big game of the Rockets playing without Drexler or Hakeem.
Ori for 3. And Robert Ori can do that with regularity. Clyde Drexler getting ready to check back in. Eldon Campbell for Jones. Campbell beat.
Again, the little things for the Rockets. They mistime a rebound, give up a basket. They go for a ball fake.
Go back to the give and go with the Lakers.
You see, when the guy lunges defensively, that's Sam Mack lunging defensively on that post-entry pass. That just sets up the give and go. Stay on the ground. You're not going to steal passes from the guy who's thrown, especially if Eddie Jones throws.
Sam Cassell. Boy, Sam Cassell is awfully tough.
You had to expect that Cassell would come out and have a big game today. He did not play that well. They won. He made a couple of good shots. But Cassell, like Kenny Smith, they alternate which one is going to play great. Today is Sam Cassell's day.
Eldon Campbell fights his way to the basket and draws the foul. Mark Bryant will protest to no avail. That's number 2 on Bryant.
Eldon Campbell just having his way. Mark Bryant, who was a huge positive factor for the Rockets in Game 1, has done nothing but pick up a couple of fouls. He's missed some easy shots here. Eldon Campbell, though, has really developed into one of the premier power forwards in this Western Conference, where all the best power forwards are. 2-on-1.
Long rebound back to Mario Elie from Cassell. And coming up on 5 minutes to play here in the first half, it's the Lakers by 5.
Houston just wants to be close. Just hang tough. They know that at the end they can get Akeem, and hopefully Clyde Drexler can come back and be a factor.
They have an illegal defense call against the Lakers.
So great to see Mario Elie back. Missed 3 months in the regular season, at the end of the regular season, because of a severely fractured right forearm. I saw Mario Ellie's x-rays. Unbelievable. He's got a plate in that right forearm, a metal plate with about 8 or 10 screws in it. That's scary looking.
Van Exel, blocked from behind by Hakeem. That's 3 blocks for Olajuwon today.
Beautiful.
For Elie. And Olajuwon fouled as he tried to get a shot off. That'll be Eddie Jones, and that's his second of the afternoon. Houston, 6 of their last 7 from the field. As Olajuwon tries to cut into a 5-point Laker lead.
It was wonderful talking with Magic, who's on the bench right now, about how different it is right now for him to play against the team that has the great center. Because he started his NBA career with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. The Lakers had Wilt Chamberlain earlier. And all these teams would come in and just get hammered by the great big men for the Lakers. There's Kareem's retired number. Wilt's right up there on the wall as well. And right now the king is in Houston.
Jones for 2. 8 points for Eddie Jones.
Eddie Jones in the top 10 in the NBA in assist to turnover ratio and in steal to turnover ratio. Good to see Drexler back in the game. Eddie Jones will one day be a consistent all-star in the NBA. As a team, he just played in his 11th all-star game this year.
Hakeem with 16 of the Rockets' 36 points. And they're back within 3. 3:40 to play here in the first half. Top of the key. Eddie Jones again.
When Eddie Jones gets the complete confidence in his game, just how good he is. He's such a shy person, so reserved.
Double team on Olajuwon now. Mario Elie, long pass cross court. Cassell with the scoop. Sam Cassell. We talked about Van Exel, the spark plug for the Lakers. Sam Cassell is exactly that for the Houston Rockets.
Well, he comes in and he's able to create so much of his own game. He doesn't need a team to create his shot. He doesn't need other guys to run the lane for him. He's a guy who can play a whole game and dominate all by himself. Few guys in the NBA can do that.
7 straight shots from the floor. Houston Rockets right in the thick of things. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
The Prudential halftime report a few minutes away will bring you the arrival of the Olympic torch in L.A. It came in this morning from Greece, and we'll have a full report on those proceedings, plus highlights of the Knicks and Cavs, and we'll also check in on the team that had the best record in the West, the Seattle Supersonics. They lead Sacramento now 1-0 in their best-of-5 series. In L.A., the Lakers over the Rockets by 3. Back to Greg, Bill, and Hannah.
All right, Bob, thank you. And there is a look at the hot-shooting Houston Rockets, led by the hot-shooting Hakeem Olajuwon, who is 5 for 5 from the floor here in this quarter and has 12 points for Houston in the second period alone.
He's also got 2 fouls, played very smart and conservatively on the defensive end. You've got your team back in the game, but you got to realize that second half is going to be where it's all decided. What the Rockets have done, though, is that they've taken the Lakers out of their passing and penetration and dishing game, cutting down their assists.
Van Exel.
That's a wild play.
And up ahead of the pack is Sam Cassell. And the Rockets are within 1.
The Lakers, Magic Johnson has just 1 assist in this ball game. He had only a total of 3 in game 1. The Rockets have seriously denied Magic his normal game plan, which is getting everybody else involved.
Cassell one-on-one on Van Exel. D-box up top. George Lynch jumped into the game. Horry looks like he got a piece after that, and there's a shot clock violation.
Greg, there's that swing pass that the Lakers were talking about and complaining as Del Harris is coming quickly back with Magic Johnson as the Lakers seem to have fallen apart. But when you swing it to George Lynch or a Fred Roberts, who was the guy who was ineffective in Game 1, that's just not the same. Peeler needs those big minutes. Magic, Eddie Jones. You got to get those guys out there the entire game.
Rockets have never led in this game. A basket here would do it, and Cassell gets it. 9 straight field goals for the Houston Rockets, and they lead 42-41. Mismatch down low now with Lynch trying to post up Cassell. Back outside, Van Exel for 3.
In that situation, they just raced at George Lynch. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't recall George Lynch having busted anybody down low on the low block that he's going to require 3 guys to come and deny him the ball.
Right, nice pass, and Ori missed the stuff. We do have a foul. What a great pass from Sam Cassell to Robert Ori.
Cassell has taken over the offense. He's got the flow happening for him. He's running the backdoor plays. This is an unusual play. Usually Robert Ori just throws that one right down. But nice to see him pop right back up talking to Robert. He is so banged up.
Sam Cassell is such an interesting character. We were talking to him yesterday. He and Nick Van Exel are good friends, and he likes to talk to Nick out there. And one of the things he was talking to him about in Game 1 was, how was it when you were on suspension? How was it sitting after?
Was it like being on vacation? And it wasn't fun for Nick Van Exel, who told me he came and worked so very hard. He stayed in shape, traveled with the team, went through all the practices, just couldn't attend the games. But that trash talking, that goes all the way back between Ori just unable to get anything done offensively. No rhythm for Robert Ori. But Ellie and Cassell, they were junior college opponents down in the state of Texas in the late 80s. Their rivalry goes way back.
Divac claims the rebound and sends it back up top to Magic. 1:05 to play in the first half. Magic working on Ori.
Just stay single coverage. Make Magic beat you with that hook.
Here comes Cassell. 2-point Laker lead. Long range 3. That's no good. Not a bounds for the Lakers.
Ill-advised shot. You come down, you've got yourself back in the game, you're playing well, and he's playing well, but he's not that hot.
Dale 3 to Magic. As Lakers swing it again. And back up top to Magic. No. On the drive. The dish for Sabalos.
Magic, second assist in the game, now 5th in the series.
This 20-second timeout ball, and on the floor is Robert Ori. And he's in an awful lot of pain, and I didn't see what happened to him.
I was watching Akeem Olajuwon give the concession jam dunk to Cedric Sabalos, and as they went to the timeout, Robert Ori just laying on his face. He's at the top of the screen, the right of the screen. Oh, the follow-through by Drexler went right to the face. When Magic gets down the lane after Robert Ori just ran at him. Now, Magic's one of the few guys in the history of the NBA that can get away with jumping in the air to pass. But he jumps to shoot. It was when they finally cut him off.
So Ori took the shot from Drexler, and boy, it's something that Rudy Tomjanovich and the Rockets just don't need. They have been fighting injuries all season long.
Robert Ori missed a bunch of games late in the regular season with very sore knee tendonitis. Also, his ankles have been killing him. They've been jammed up. Just the pounding that this young man has taken.
Well, trainer Ray Melchiori looking at Ori's left eye as we get back to action. Ori on the bench. Last 26 seconds of the first half.
If anybody can get him better, Ray can. Ray's got 5 championship rings. 3 with the Celtics, 2 with the Rockets.
Divac with the long rebound. Olajuwon shaking his head at that one as he comes back up court. 11 seconds to play in the first half.
2 of the last 3 possessions, they come down and just throw up wild 3.
Magic for 3. Ellie Magic Johnson puts a lid on the first half to cap an 8-point Laker run. The Lakers go to the locker room with the lead. We'll be back with the Prudential Halftime Report, featuring the Olympic torch arrival right after this.
This is the Prudential Halftime Report, brought to you by Prudential. Live well, make a plan, be your own rock.
At one point, the Lakers led the Rockets by 14, relinquished it, but now lead again by 7 over Houston at the half. Magic with 10, Ceballos with 11. Hakeem on 7 of 8 shooting leads Houston and everybody with 16. Sam Cassell off the bench for 15 points, while the starting backcourt of the Rockets, Drexler and Kenny Smith, blank. 0 for both of them in the first half. Rockets down by 7. Bob Costas back in New York. We'll have Knicks Cavs highlights in the next segment. First, the arrival of the Olympic torch. With a report on that, off to Jim Lampley in L.A. Jim.
Almost a millennium before Christ, in every 4th year, across the Greek peninsula, there came a call to peace and friendly competition. Torchbearers carried the message, and soon, in the Valley of Olympia, at the altar of Zeus, a flame was lit, and the ancient games would begin. 1 month ago, in a tradition dating back almost 3,000 years, a flame was lit from the heat of the sun's rays in Olympia. Torchbearers would once again carry it across Greece, then and now, a symbol of peace and partnership. On April 6th in Athens, a day of festivities marked the modern Olympic centennial. Then, early this morning, the flame, encased in a safety lantern, began its journey to Los Angeles. 13 hours later, the special Delta charter landing at Los Angeles International Airport. In the hands of Atlanta Olympic Committee President Billy Payne, the Olympic flame had returned to American soil. From LAX, the flame boarded a helicopter inland to become the centerpiece of the torch relay kickoff ceremony. What follows now is a 15,000-mile, 3-month cross-country journey, eventually to bring the flame to Atlanta. In 1932, and then again in 1984, the Olympic flame burned through a fortnight here at the Los Angeles Coliseum. Hello, I'm Jim Lampley. Today, the 1996 Olympic torch relay begins appropriately here in this stadium, in this city, where memories of the 1984 Summer Games, the last Olympics to have been staged in America, are still fresh. The Los Angeles Olympic torch relay ended in the hands of 1960 decathlon gold medalist Rafer Johnson. Then new American stars emerged. Greg Louganis, first in 56 years to win both men's diving events. The first American volleyball team ever to capture Olympic gold. Gymnastics, highlighted by a 4'9" West Virginian, Mary Lou Retton. Joan Benoit, victorious in the first women's Olympic marathon. And Carl Lewis, winning 4 golds, duplicating the legendary Jesse Owens. Today in Los Angeles, the high priestess of Greece, Maria Pambuki, who first lit the flame March 30, brings it to a stage set in front of the Coliseum, the flame now freed from its lantern.
And now, Mr. William Porter Payne will use the Greek Olympic torch to light the Olympic cauldron.
The mayor of Athens, Dimitris Avramopoulos, passes the torch, literally and symbolically, to Billy Payne, chief caretaker for these next Olympics. When Payne first envisioned an Olympic Games for Atlanta back in 1987, the idea was seen by many as preposterous. Now 10,000 torchbearers will carry the flame on a 15,000-mile journey to Payne's hometown. A western swing circles the desert landscapes of Phoenix and Las Vegas. Then it's north to Seattle, the torch catching a ride on the Union Pacific Railroad. Pointing southeast, there's a stop in Salt Lake City, site of the 2002 Winter Olympics. Splitting Texas. Eventually, the torch will be steaming up the Mississippi on a paddle wheeler. In Cleveland, there's a chance to visit the new Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The torch will hang a right in Boston, heading south for its final destination, the opening ceremony at Centennial Olympic Stadium on July 19th. A reminder, NBC will chart the progress of the torch for the next 83 days. Updates on the 1996 Olympic torch relay presented by Coca-Cola will be airing every night in prime time. Kings now, led by the group Millennium and one of the song's composers, David Foster. This new piece is called Power of the Dream. Rafer Johnson, once known as the world's greatest athlete, is stage center holding the Atlanta torch. Rafer Johnson, last to have borne the torch into America in 1984, becomes the first in 1996. At the scene of two Summer Olympics, a 15,000-mile journey to the next American Games has begun. Just as it did long, long ago, an ancient flame summons again the youth of the world along with the young at heart. The speculation intensifies. Will Atlanta belong to sprinter supreme Michael Johnson? Is 14-year-old Dominique Moceanu the successor to Olga, Nadia, and Mary Lou? Can Dream Team 96 surpass its predecessor? The Centennial Olympic Games are 83 days away.
Among the thousands who will take a turn carrying the torch on its long trip through America and ultimately into Atlanta are several NBA players, among them Kevin Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, and Juwan Howard. Up next, highlights of the Knicks and Cavs and a report on the Sonics and Kings. That's after a message from Prudential and, as always, a word from the NBA.